Welcome, everyone. Kevin Carpenter back with you, volunteer with Swiftcraft, here with Jeff and Caitlin. Uh, we're getting ready for Swiftcraft coming up here at the end of May, right? We're about 3 weeks out
Mhm.
now, I think. Welcome both. Glad to have
Pleasure.
you. So I was joking before we came on. You were talking to me because we use Zencaster to do this, and I have a very specific reason because it records locally, so it makes it so that we get good quality production on the post. But I thought this was just so fitting. What did you hit me with as you came in?
We were talking about the name field because we're appearing here as Jeff and Caitlin instead of Caitlin Steele and Jeff Watkins because there's a 20 character limit on the name field, but it let us type it in. So we typed in Jeff or like Caitlin Steele and Jeff Watkins, and it was only when I went to enter the meeting that then it wouldn't allow it, and I retyped us as Caitlin and Jeff. And so then I was like, "Why? Why let me type it if you're not going to store more data than that?" And then Jeff said,
Fucking engineers.
"Yeah." Which and then I was like, of course it is. It's a back end data field, and then you've got this front end, and the two of them are connected because it's like have a character limit on the front end if there's a character limit on the back end.
Now, the part that made me laugh just fully is because one, yes, I purchased the product. It's not mine, but then I'm like, and your talk is designing buildable apps, so it just made total sense for for that to be the first part that came
Yeah,
out.
this is the sort
So
of thing that Caitlin and I talk about over dinner all the time
Yeah.
because one of us will encounter something during the day, and sometimes it can't wait until dinner. And then I'm part and complain about things. Uh, but oftentimes it's like dinner topic conversation of like, can you believe this terrible thing that I encountered today?
Yeah. Well, and for full context for anyone who's watching this video and isn't familiar with our backgrounds, I am a senior design leader at Atlassian currently, been working in mobile apps for years, and Jeff is an engineering leader. And so between the two of us, we have this sort of cross-disciplinary conversation going at all times about how things are built, how things come together. We remodeled our house together during the pandemic, and it was really interesting. We had a lot of
yeah,
conversations about sort of like construction versus, building apps and what that looks like. And yeah, sort of a nonstop dialogue about how to build things.
it's been a few years, but it reminds me of a book that I was reading about UI design, and the person gave the example of like elevators and the way the buttons are laid out when you walk in. It's not just about the design that is inside the the apps that we built, but it's just in general the user interfaces that we experience all around everywhere, right? And so what was your most relatable point in doing the redesign of your house in an app? Pardon me. There we
Yeah,
go.
I think one of the things that stood out to me is that we had so many contractors tell us about how so our house was built in 1905, and um, now that's not particularly old by comparison to European houses or some houses here
Right.
in the states. Um, but one of the things that many contractors said is that like this house was built really well. And it's been here for 117, 119 years now. It'll probably be here for another 100 years based on its construction. Um, and and the choices that we were making in our renovation only reinforced that. And so, of course, that
Yep.
made us feel good, right? They were flattering comments. Um, but it was one of the things that we talked about.
Well, we talked a lot about how sometimes something can seem really easy,
Mhm.
and so sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
particularly as a designer and working in native apps, because you're starting with like the platforms and the components that exist. It's really easy to kind of like start with something that you think is buildable, but is actually like not reasonable
Right.
at all. And then a developer looks at it and is like, "Ha, yeah, no, yeah, that's a terrible idea." Or they're trying to articulate like why it would take 20 hours instead of 2 hours, those types of things. And so one of ours was moving a wall. which was, it was just one wall. We were moving it like 3 feet. That's it. And the engineer in this case, we were the opposite, where the engineer is like, it's just moving a wall. And then me having a lot more experience with construction and building things growing up with my dad, I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I'm like, that's like, I think there might be some plumbing. I don't think that that's actually going to be as easy as you think it is. Um, and it's a long story that we'll, maybe touch on in our talk, but we went through, and it was one of those things where it's like, until you sort of get behind the drywall, like, you don't actually know what's underneath there. So it's like, most apps aren't built from scratch. It's like, there are those times where you're like,
Right.
let's start from completely new, and it's great. But a lot of times it's like, particularly now that iOS has been around for so long, now that there are so many more opportunities for like Swift, like how things are building, we're going through and we're remodeling these apps. Like the Trello app, that's been around for 13 years at this point. And so you're not walking in and being like,
Wow.
let's start with a blank slate and like go through and plan the architecture and all of these different things. And so, like, sometimes it can be really similar where you're like, well, let's just do this one thing in the app. And it's like tantamount to being like, well, let's just move this wall 3 feet. How hard can that be? Very.
Yes. So I have to ask, in both your opinion, what is the hardest part when it comes to building apps? And I mean this like, I mean, there, it's in my mind. So my day job, I don't normally make user interfaces that an actual human being's using. I'm making APIs. I do credit card processing. My customer is that terminal that you swipe your credit card on. So, but every now and then I'll do a side project, such as for C++ now, we made a lunch ordering app. And that was my first UI that I designed in a lot of years. Um, so between the UI design and your example of things being disconnected from what the UI is to what the back end is, what part do you think gets bunched up the most?
So I'm going to slightly change your question and say and answer the
Please.
question of like, what's the biggest mistake? And that
Okay.
is coding too soon. So like as an engineer, my gut reaction is to just open Xcode and start because I have an idea, right? And I just want to do it. Um, and and it's like I see all of these articles about like this will help you like code so much faster, and Swift has shorter function names so that you do less typing. I'm like,
AI,
and
Copilot.
and AI like generates the code for you. I'm like, dude, typing is the least of my challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like getting engineers on my teams to stop and think is really the hardest challenge. And that's the biggest obstacle to building a great app.
Well, there's also, I mean, there's always huge pressure to ship, right? I mean, like timelines for you want to
Mhm.
deliver value as quickly as possible. For me, on design, managing design, sort of one of the hardest parts is kind of connecting that output to where the process begins. And sort of like, how can we spend less time here and more time here to speed up the rest of that process and create higher quality? Because, like, a big term these days is design quality. And you're like, well, what does that mean
Right.
exactly? Which that's a complicated answer in and of itself. But for me, I think that the hardest part is if people spend all of their time here where it's like in high fidelity mock-ups, and sort of if anybody design does the like over the wall like handoff sort of throw, and it's like, no, 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 it should be a gradient of responsibility along the way and building shared understanding. And so for me, it's all about like, let's
Mhm.
pull things this way, and let's not get into verbs of like buy, purchase, like all these different things. Let's start with nouns,
Right.
and let's have the lowest fidelity discussions possible so that we can, the design,
Mhm.
product, and engineering all have a shared understanding. So it's like those APIs, you can start better building on that sooner because you're not like sort of retrofitting from these Figma files, that you're having these conversations of like, well, what's the conceptual model that our users are actually looking at? What's the object model? What are the nouns that people are working with? And that if you do that and invest that work up front, then everything is faster because everybody's on the same page for what it is you're building. You actually end up with better verbs of like how you're executing things because it isn't perfectly just about actions. it's in a way that makes sense to the user and makes sense to the business simultaneously. But I think that
Right.
that's something that we used to be a lot better about in a lot of ways. And that, like, information architecture and a lot of things that happened there, but just sort of the shift in product design over the last 10 years, we've kind of lost a lot of those things. And so that for me is hard to get people there. But sometimes once they get it, they're like, oh, and it's a big click for them. Like, it makes sense.
I'm just saying, like, I haven't even asked you what your talk is fully about. I read the synopsis, but I'm also going, okay, I can't wait to just, hang out with you in Folkestone because I'm gonna have all kinds of other questions I want to ask, which, I guess that's the one part I'll say is like the nice part about going to the conference is, yeah, the talk's gonna be awesome. I have no doubt about that. But just being able to hang out all week and, I know they do a speaker's dinner, so it's like you get to hang out at the dinner and talk
Mhm.
with people. Have you both been to Folkestone
No, this is our
before?
first time.
No, I've not been. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's so I help with a conference there, CPP on C, and it's just kind of funny because you're walking down the street and you see what looks like this glass kind of domed coffee shop. And whenever I get volunteers, I'm like, we're going to meet outside. This is where we're going to hold a conference. And so if they've never been there, you're standing outside this coffee shop and you're like, yeah, we got, 200 people coming. They're like, wait, how? And you walk into the coffee shop and, there's stairs going down and it just opens up into this big hall that is just literally built in the cliff. It's
Wow.
absolutely beautiful. Um, so looking forward to having you both there. It's quick and easy to get to, 3 weeks away. So what's going to be your favorite part that you're looking forward to at this talk this time?
Well, for me, full disclosure, I've never actually given a conference talk. So with organizations,
Oh,
yeah, within the
nice.
organizations, I am told I get feedback a lot that I'm a very
Yep.
strong presenter, great visual storyteller. And it's something that I just haven't had the opportunity to do. But this in particular is a talk that I've wanted to give for a while because it's like, why don't we design buildable things? Like, I have a lot of thoughts
Yes.
on this specific thing, but I'm really excited and I love um, the native app community. It's something that makes me like, I'm always excited and energized after the events that we go to, whether it's, release notes, all these various conferences. So I'm excited to like get up there on stage as well as get to connect with everybody off stage.
And as
That's
you can
excellent.
imagine, I'm thrilled to share the stage with my wife because we have so many great
That's cool.
talks about this sort of thing that it's about time that we shared what we talk about with everyone else.
Which hopefully people find as interesting as we do, but you never know. But I do think that offline, a lot of times I have conversations about some of these principles with people, and they get really excited and engaged. And so hopefully it will be as interesting.
I'm fairly sure we could do 30 minutes of just talking about our cats.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, I before I started this call, I was watching your last talk, Jeff, that was or not last talk, but the one from 2017 of
Yep.
less dogs. And I get that it's not really about
Right.
dogs, but I am more of a dog person. I tried to raise my daughter as a dog person, and she turned out to be a cat person. I don't know where I
it's
went wrong.
Kevin.
Um,
For you, I will put some dogs in the presentation. This presentation will have some
I
dogs, and it will be cat for one
I appreciate
for you.
that. Well, I look forward to seeing you both in Folkestone. May 21st is the start of the conference. We have some pre-conference workshops as well, if anyone's interested. And otherwise, Jeff, Caitlin, have a great rest of the weekend. And thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in
You got it.
Lovely to
person.
talk to you.
See you soon.